Hello everyone, so let's take a look at what's been happening in Kursk. We're going to start with the bridges. This first video here is from a Russian driving over the Zvannoe Bridge. So, you can see that the bridge is badly damaged, but it's still usable for light utility vehicles like this one. He also goes past somebody with a cow. Not the most interesting video, but an important one, as it shows this bridge can still be used, or rather, could still be used by light vehicles, but not heavy ones. This next video shows that same bridge getting hit yet again by Ukraine, adding another couple of holes to it and making it even more impassable. It does still stand, but looking in a very bad way. Certainly can't be used by heavy vehicles. This next clip shows a pontoon bridge getting hit by HIMARS cluster munitions. This is a new pontoon, but in the same place as the old one. So, Ukraine destroys it, Russia rebuilds it, rinse and repeat. You have to think that Russian losses on these crossings may get so high eventually that they'll just decide to leave it and abandon this area of Russia. Because the pontoons form a sort of funnel point, making it very easy for Ukraine to hit what's there, waiting to cross. But as we've seen in the past, Russia doesn't really care about losses. I expect we'll keep massive vehicles here, which then get hit by Ukraine and the pontoon taken out. Then try again, only for the same thing to happen. But they can really only keep these pontoons open until Ukraine reaches them. Ukraine has control over the areas highlighted in blue, and is pushing west towards Glushkovo. The crossing is pointed in red. Once Ukraine reaches these pontoons, then Russia can't use them, and this area is, I believe, the only suitable spot along the river for pontoon crossings, which is why Russia keeps rebuilding them in the same three spots, rather than moving them elsewhere. Now, the most interesting video of the day, and an update on a video we looked at a couple of days ago. This clip shows fighting taking place in Russkaya Konopelta, originally shared as a Russian BTR-82 destroying a Ukrainian vehicle, but there are possibilities that it may be Russian. The vehicle getting destroyed has what appears to be a V on the front rather than the Ukrainian tactical triangle. So, a case of friendly fire? Unfortunately, it's not all that straightforward. One on Twitter did a good look into this. Here's a screenshot. He suggests that the V might actually be an inverted triangle of Ukraine's with the top bit covered by the gun. I can't tell for certain, but if so, then this must be a wide barrel, as it's too wide for a BMP. Here's a top view of a BMP showing how narrow the barrel is. I think it looks too narrow to block such a big section of the inverted triangle, but we can't rule out the barrel being covered with netting or something similar, making it look wider than it is. And inverted triangles have been used. This vehicle here, a Ukrainian one in Kursk, does show an inverted triangle at the front rather than a regular one, as does this tank here. So it is possible. In favour of it being Russian, it fires here at the MRAP, missing it. The MRAP is Ukrainian, but that's still not definite proof that it's Russian, because this could actually be Ukrainian on Ukrainian friendly fire. And it is notable, the BMP doesn't fire again at the MRAP, so he could have recognised it as a Ukrainian, stopped firing, and then driven into the ambush of a BTR. Or it could have stopped firing for other reasons, having to reload or the gun jammed or something like that. So really, we can't tell for sure if this is actually a Russian or Ukrainian BMP. In favour of it being Russian, it does come from the south, Russian-controlled south, but again, we just can't rule out this being a Ukrainian vehicle, which penetrated down this road and then returned this way only to get ambushed. I'm personally thinking it's a Russian vehicle because of how much of the triangle is missing. It just seems too big for the BMP's barrel to block, but we can't tell 100% for sure. This is here, south of Agronom, which is Ukrainian controlled. This is east of Suja, and looks to be the next target for Ukraine's push in this region. An interesting little video here showing a pair of Russian trucks pulling howitzers, getting hit by artillery. These are very accurate artillery strikes. First, one truck is destroyed, then the second one takes a direct hit. Whilst the trucks are certainly gone, the status of the howitzers is unclear, as it's hard to tell how badly damaged the howitzers are after strikes like this. The geolocation is on screen now. So, these are on a road near Opushkano, likely about to deploy and engage in a firing mission. This is not far from Agronom and Russkaya Konopelta, which we just looked at. This is very close to Ukrainian-controlled Agronom, under 4 kilometers. So, a close position for two howitzers to be, which are usually deployed much further back to keep them safe. This video could be from earlier in the war, to try and defend Suja, which accounts for the position here, or Russia took a big risk bringing them closer to support operations here recently, and the risk just backfired. Zoomed out, this is here on the eastern axis. A pair of FPV drone strikes for you here. The first one is in Glushkovo, and it shows a Scooby-Doo van of Russia's getting completely destroyed by a drone. A nice, accurate strike here. This was geolocated by Blinsk on Twitter to be here. Now, given its location parked up and with its back door open slightly, I wouldn't be surprised if that nearby structure just to the right is actually being used by the Russian military. These vans, these Scooby-Doo vans, the UAZ 452, are used for supply operations, so maybe a resupply being carried out here. Here it is zoomed out to show its location in Glushkovo overall. Our next clip's another FPV drone strike, this one on another Scooby-Doo van. This one is a sporty soft-top version, presumably one used by the Russian military, but there's no markings on it, so can't say for 100%. Before we check the geolocation of that, a clip here showing another Scooby-Doo van being destroyed with a drone. This one parked near a tree line. So these white coloured ones are likely used by the military too. The soft-top Scooby-Doo van was geolocated by Blinsk on Twitter to be here, in this large industrial site or compound. This, you can see, is north of Zvannoe, on the other side of the same river. The second one was in this tree line here. This is near a settlement called Shagarovo, and near a tree line here. This is once again over the same river, but this time a bit closer to Glushkovo. Now, there aren't really any updates on territorial control here, but from what I can tell, the main pushes by Ukraine are as shown. Pushes north towards Koronivo, both from the south and east of the settlement. Ukraine was reported to have entered it a few days ago, but that hasn't been confirmed visually. The one video that was supposedly showing Ukrainian vehicles there turned out to be Russians, who then got destroyed by their own Kar-52 helicopter. Then we also have a push west towards Glushkovo. Live UA surprisingly still hasn't updated to show the new territorial changes in this area yet. This is a big one, as this area, remember, is cut off because of the bridges being hit. Over in the east, a push south from Suja. We looked at this one earlier, and then the push east towards Geria. No new videos from there, but we saw a couple in today's Kursk update, so that area is still heavily contested at the moment. So that's it for this video. Hope you found it interesting. Now, before we finish, I'm going to play a video from Sanath about the ongoing fundraiser with him. Big thanks to everybody who's helped out so far. Thanks very much, and take care, everybody.
Hello Sukhmimers community, my name is Sanath. I'm a volunteer that's been helping the Ukrainian military for the past 2.5 years. I live in Ukraine and have been here for about 10 years. At the start of the war, my good friend Yuri, who was my gym instructor, went to join the military, and I stayed on to help support these guys. We've done lots of work along the way, so thank you for everyone who supported us. We currently have a fundraiser ongoing for an armoured vehicle. Cyclist for an armoured vehicle. It's going really well. We've raised nearly £10,000. We have got £15,000 to go. The vehicle has already been purchased and is now at the garage. It's having a BMW engine installed, and then it will be taken to Ukraine to have the ceramic and Kevlar armaments installed. So with your continued support, we'll be able to bring this project to a successful conclusion. Thank you very much.